Okay, so now, let's do one where this is positive. Okay, let's do positive 3x, and then we'll do minus 18. Okay, so first we'll do one where this last sign is a negative. Okay, and then we'll talk about what happens if that one's a negative, and then we'll talk about what happens if they're both negatives. Okay, but this is a great question, and this is exactly what I was going to do next, actually. Okay, so now, what do we want our numbers to add to? Okay, so don't think about the negative, just ignore the negative. Our numbers have to add to positive 3, correct? Is everybody okay with that? The number in the middle? Okay, so now, but what do they need to multiply by? Or what do they need to multiply to? Negative 18. Okay, so now let me ask you this question. So far it's nothing different. Okay, still have to add to the middle, multiply to the end. But now, if we have two numbers, if we multiply two numbers together and the answer comes out to be negative, what kind of signs do those numbers have to have? Two numbers together, the answer is going to be negative. Do they both need to? We need one of each. Nice, Jackson. We need one of each, right? So if you're going to multiply two numbers together to get a negative, it's got to be a positive at times a negative. You multiply a positive and a negative, that gives you a negative. Okay, remember, if we do a positive times a positive, that's a positive. If we do a negative times a negative, that's also a positive. Okay, so the only way to get this, if that last number is negative, if you have to multiply to a negative, then all that means is one of these is going to be plus and one of them is going to be minus. Okay, so now we know it's going to be x plus something and x minus something. Now let's look at Jackson's answer in the chat. Okay, what do you guys think about Jackson's numbers? Negative 3 and positive 6. We know that's going to multiply to negative 18, but is that going to add up to what we need it to add up to? His numbers were, I think it was positive 6. Put them in red. His guess was positive 6 and negative 3. I want to know your guys' thoughts. If I put the plus 6, if I put the plus 6 in there and the minus 3 in there, is that going to work out over here the way we need it to? Yep. Because if you think about it now, what we're doing is we're basically doing 6 minus 3 to get the middle. Because we had the positive 6 and the negative 3. So if you do 6 plus a negative 3, that's like saying 6 minus 3, which gives us 3, which is what we wanted. And then if we multiply those two together, a positive 6 and the negative 3, that gives us our negative 18 for the end. So long story short, if this first sign is positive and the last one is negative, then there's going to be one of each. Okay, over here, you're going to have one of each in your answer. One of them is going to be a positive, one of them is going to be a negative.